Hello friends, and welcome back to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you for joining me today. We are doing some more finishing Friday, but I don't know that we're going to finish all the way. So let's get started on it. We are working on the flowering finishing, and right now I'm ready just to put my rows together. So our first row is going to be this row. And friends, if you hear my cat, he just feels like he should be in here, and I don't let him in my sewing room. But this is my first row. We have to make sure that this block is the top left. So that is what I'm doing. I'm going to lay my row down here and take my sashing. I have to make sure it's going the correct direction because I did have to piece my sashing. Friends, it looks like it's so dark here, probably because I can see light outside. It is Thursday evening. I should be on my way to get my granddaughter, but my youngest daughter, she's like, Mom, I want to go see her sister. And she's like, and maybe we could all hang out, you know, they could hang out together. And I'm like, well, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And I told her, I said, because I did not get anything recorded for Friday or Saturday. So, friends, I still don't have my Saturday sew along neither. So, I'm just getting that started there. And what I'm going to do is pin this at the end. Let me find the end here. Make sure that piecing is showing upwards there. But I'm going to just take it here and pin it at the end. And I will also pin in the center. Now, I didn't do my fold and press method to find the center of both of these. So we're just going to go with the flow. Hopefully it all works out. And friends, I'm telling you today, how are you doing today? How are you doing? We just got started sewing and didn't even check in on each other. How are you doing today? I am having a bit of a rough day. I'm hoping it's something I ate, but you know, my daughter, she had the sickness, that stomach bug, and for a few days my stomach has not been happy. And today I ate at work. We cooked, and they cook on a charcoal grill, and I have no gallbladder, so food cooked on a charcoal kind of just really does not do well with me. And I ate it, and that was a very delicious hamburger, but I'm paying for it with stomach pains right now. Oh, I'm pushing everything off my table, friends. But I'm so happy to be in here. I thought I was going to be able to get all of my videos recorded for this weekend before I was to get my grandbaby. But it kind of works out that my daughter wanted to go over there. It's really hard for me to get a full week's worth of videos out. And I haven't recorded. I recorded Monday, and it's Thursday, and I haven't even been in my sewing room since Monday because I've started taking another medicine also for my sugar, and that could be part of my problem as well because my sugar, I'm struggling with it. Like today when we had burgers, I had a meat patty, I had a tomato, I had an onion, and I had pickles and mustard. I had nothing else with it. And I drank water. No chips. They had chips, they had cake, and I had none of that. And my blood sugar, when I checked it a couple hours later, was still 180. So it's still high, really high. But, I mean, it's better than the 386 that it was a couple mornings ago. And I'm just struggling with it, guys. I can't seem to figure out what is causing it to go up so high. So I'm trying my best to get it all to work out, you know, to kind of settle down. I do realize I have to get rid of my half and half tea. So there will be no tea whatsoever because I can't drink that stuff without some kind of sweetener in it. That is just horrible. Cannot do it. I know some people can and do. My daddy does. My daddy would rather tea without sugar in it. Me, I like that sweet tea. And if I get more specific, I like McDonald's sweet tea. My goodness, they can, at our McDonald's, well, we don't have a McDonald's anymore. They're rebuilding it. Right now, it's tore down. But our McDonald's, I don't know if all McDonald's have good tea, if it's like a mix that they do, or if they actually have to boil it or make, I don't know. But I tell you what, ours has got some phenomenal good tea. I have gotten tea at McDonald's before that was not good at all. It was very bitter. It tasted like the urns had not been cleaned. And even at our local one, I've had that happen a time or two. Not very often, though. They're pretty good about keeping it clean. But I hadn't had sweet tea. I can't tell you how long I've had. I normally get a half and half or a little more unsweet than sweet. Because I do try to, you know, kind of cut down the sugar I get. But friends, so I don't know what's going on with my stomach today. It could be that I ate something on a charcoal grill, you know, cooked over charcoal. And it could be the medicine that I'm taking, which is a GLP-1, and I've not had much success with any GLP-1s. It is the Rybelsus. It is the pill that you take. And I just probably shouldn't be taking it at all. I'm going to try tomorrow and not take it and eat, you know, the no carb, no sugar, no rice, no potatoes, no nothing. Which I got a whole bag of sweet potatoes that are cooked in my fridge right now, just waiting on me. I may eat one of them tomorrow because I will be making some chicken wings in my air fryer. Well, in my oven, but my oven, y'all know I got the new oven and it has an air fryer function on it. And friends, I love it. I love that air fryer function. I just about do everything air fry now. So now we're going to do block 4, 5, and 6. So let's see which one is block 4. Okay, 4 is that green one. So here is my 4, 5, and 6 right here. Now, these have to go a particular way. And I think this is going to be the 4, 5, and 6. Make sure those are going up. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm taking my row, getting my sashing here. I'm just lining them up. I'm going to go on and sew that, and then I will try lining up other. Y'all see me scooting here? My chair's not wanting to move. But I'm doing the same thing now. And what I'm doing, I'm putting the sashing on the bottom row. On the not the bottom row, on the bottom of the row, because I don't need it on top. So I'll only do this 3 to 3 rows because this is a 4-row quilt. But anyway, friends, let's chit chat some more. My daughter had to come and get the car seat out of my truck because I have a car seat and she don't have 2 car seats, you know, in her car. So she always gets mine when she has both of the babies with her, which is fine. I don't care. When they get to where they can go up to booster seats, that'll be nice. Because then booster seats aren't hard to put in the car. And car seats, you got to have special instructions to get them things in and out of the car. I'm telling you, I nearly break my hand every time trying to get that thing out of the car. Once I figure out how to get it in and out, it's so hard to get out though. But for me, it's just very, very hard and very difficult. And I am so excited to be getting this done. This is the good part of when you do a block of the month. I have been told that the upcoming block of the month is using Bunny Hill Designs fabrics. And the very first quilt along I did with the Sew Sampler with Fat Quarter Shop was Bunny Hill Designs Sugarberry. And I have a special fondness for that line of fabric because that is the fabric that I used to make my very first quilt, which was my grandbaby's quilt, which I completed that quilt in June of 23. So I saw that every time I see them, well, not every time I see them, I ask, you know, once they move, I'm like, where's her baby quilt? Where's our baby quilt? And for the longest time while they were still living on base, she kept it in the dresser. And I'm like, no, she is to use that. That is the whole point of that quilt, is to use it. And I told her, I said, if there's things coming apart on it, just bring it back to me and I'll fix it. I said, I had no idea what I was doing. It was my very first quilt ever. But I told her, I said, I can fix it if there's anything that needs to be fixed on it. Because I absolutely had no idea what I was doing when I made that quilt. I didn't know you could make your own binding. I went and bought bias tape binding and use that to bind my quilt because I had no clue. No clue. Y'all know how that is when you start something that you don't know how to do. I'm making that where that'll lay down and you can see that a little better. Okay, friends, this is my third row here. Now, remember, this one definitely has a particular direction it has to go because we want the little half square triangles in the middle of our sunflower to be the correct direction. So we get our last sashing here. I'm hoping we can get all of the rows put together, but I do have a border that I have to put around it also, and I'm not going to be doing that today because I have not pieced those together yet. So this may be a short little video, and that is okay. We have to check in with each other and make sure everybody's okay. We have to make sure everybody's eating, everybody's taking their medicine. We got to stay good, y'all. We got to stay good. I'm not good. I'm not ever good. I try to be. I try to be good, but sometimes that task is very difficult. So let me get this to my end. And let me pin this. And friends, I came in, I haven't even eaten because I was too scared to eat. Because I thought I was going to have to make that drive. And it's a good 45-minute drive to my daughter's that has my grandbaby. She lives like 2 towns over and up. And she's literally almost on the Arkansas line. But I didn't want to risk eating something and then having to stop a lot on the way there or back. I knew better, but I still didn't do better. You know, that's a common theme here. You know better, but don't do better. Oh, and Laura, I found one of the 3 pattern things that I'm looking for. I know I didn't throw them away. I just got to find them. I'm still looking. I'm still working in this sewing room, trying to get it. I still don't even have my desks set up right. I have my shipping desk as my computer desk and my computer as my shipping. Well, I'm actually using the one desk for everything. I've got the other desk, the one that should be my computer desk, is piled up with stuff, binders and folders and patterns and all kinds of stuff on it. Shipping supplies. It's a work in progress for sure. My sewing room is definitely a whip. It is in progress. But I needed to move things that were on this side to this side, which is my Quilt. And I had a sewing desk over there. I just needed to get them to the other side of the room so I could put shelves. I have shelves that go from about shoulder height all the way up to the ceiling on this side of my room. And in order to do that, my desks had to be moved, but I couldn't put my desks. I couldn't put the shelves over here. I don't know why I couldn't have. That would have been perfectly fine to have done that, I guess. But I already have some shelves over here. But these are long shelves. They go from the back wall all the way to, I have a utility shelf. That's an upright shelf, not one that's mounted on the wall. And it holds crafts and, my storage boxes of stuff. And I don't have all of that done neither. I'm going to have to just stop one day and do it. And oh, and Laura, also, when I find that, I'm actually going to hole punch it and bind it for you, because those pages get loose and lost too easy. And I think that's what happened with this. They got caught up in something else that I was doing at the time too. And I've either just put them in a basket somewhere. I've got baskets all over this place that's full of stuff. But I will find them. I will find them. I hope I will find them. I better say, I hope I will find them. I hope they're still in here. Because when I did start doing my clean out, I did take some stuff out of here and put in my spare bedroom so they could be in a basket or a bin on my spare bed easily. But I can't get to it right now because I've got box Christmas trees standing up in front of the bed, so I can't even get to the bed right now. Because I didn't want to send all the Christmas trees out of the house. I'm kind of, downsizing everything I got because I don't need all the stuff. And my daughter, she's like, but Mama, now you got grandbabies. You need to do all your decorate. Because I used to decorate big. I mean, my outside was decorated. My back porch had its own little Christmas tree. We had Christmas lights. We had little stocking holder things out there. It was decorated. My front was decorated. I always had lights. And now we don't have none of that. I'm just like, I can't do it. I just cannot do it. If somebody else wants to do it, they're more than welcome to. You know, my husband decided, and my husband is a bah humbug. He don't care about no holiday, nothing. He don't care about nothing. He don't care about holidays. He don't. Now, I mean, you know, he humors me. He will humor me, and he will, you know, pull the Christmas trees and all the stuff out of the shed. He's good about that. He'd rather not. Because he'd just rather not have to worry about it at the end of December or January. Putting it back up. And that's okay that he'd rather not, but he needs to because, you know, I'm trying to keep the Christmas spirit for the grandbabies. And my son is the same way. He really does not care for holidays. He never has. I don't know why, but some people like them, some people don't. Okay, so this is our third row. So I'm going to slowly bring these. I'm not even going to press them. I'm just going to trim them apart because I know the one still over here on my ironing board is my fourth row. That's my third row. I'm putting them in the direction they need to go. Of course, it can only go one way because I only put sashing on one side, top or bottom. You know, I put it on the bottom. So now what I'm going to do is take this row. I don't have to have that anymore. I could put it out of the way. See, Lord, that's what happens. I just throw it all over here, and then when this over here gets full, I put it in a basket, and I'm like, I'll look at it later. Okay, so this is our next row. So we have to take it and turn it upside down. Now remember, you're going to put this on the side that doesn't have the sashing on it. Now I am going to pin this right here at the top, and then I am going to pin at the bottom. I probably should do 2 rows and 2 rows and then put the 4 of them together, but I'm probably not going to do that. That would be too easy, wouldn't it? Okay, so here we are at the end, and we're not pinning it on the sashing side. We're pinning it on the side that we're sewing. Now I probably could pin this. It's probably isn't where it should be, but it's close enough, I'm guessing. I can tell if it's too much. Well, that looks pretty good. So now this time we're putting the row on the top and not the sashing. Get that under there. Get that needle down in it. Now that it is heavy, I will have to sew it in smaller increments just to make sure it is staying. And see, we have the other sashing down here, so we know that's where we're sewing our next row. I'm making sure these sashings are lined up. And we're keeping them on that 1/4 of an inch. Now see, this is where I have trouble when it sews. It starts pulling, and that's why I have to stop and, you know, readjust. Not that anything is going on, it's just I have a huge bulk of quilt in my lap, and this here starts pulling this direction, and I can't have that. I actually don't need that pin. It's doing pretty good itself. So I'm making sure I'm lined up here. Everything seems to be lined pretty good. And I'll just keep it pushed over there at that 1/4 inch. And I don't know if other people's does this like mine does, but man, my fabric likes to travel. And not in the direction I want it to travel. So I've got to be doing something wrong. Like right here, I know this is twisted, so I know that's wrong. And it just makes my work a little bit harder, but it still gets done. You know, it happens. Making sure all this is lined up. And I'm lined up on the quarter down here. And I'm lined up on the quarter up there. And so what I do is I just lay my hand on it to try to guide it to stay there. And while I do that, I'm holding some seams down as well. Now see, I didn't get as far as I wanted to with that one, because it decided it wanted to do a little bit of traveling. And friends, when you are working on a quilt, there's no rush. Don't ever rush. I mean, because you start rushing, you start making mistakes, and then it just takes you longer to get it done than it would if you just take your time and get it done right the first time. Not perfect. Notice I did not say perfect. None of my stuff is perfect, friends. None of it at all. I've got a string that is wanting to catch. Guys, do y'all ever have that happen? I have a string and it's trying to pull everything else around it. I'm showing y'all real life today. This is the nitty gritty of me sewing. I've had people say, you do such a wonderful job. Thank you. Thank you. If you could only see this close up. Because sometimes it looks like a hot mess. Get my seams down under that presser foot. And sometimes my seams still curl up under that presser foot even though I hold them down. I'm not going to put anything else under there for me to possibly hit with my needle. And I'm not going... Well, I better not say that. I better not say. Y'all know what I was about to say about my finger. What I was not going to do with my finger. I'm not going to say that because I have had that happen. And I just about said a dirty word. It hurts so bad. And apparently that's something that I've done before when I was a child. I don't know. It's this hand. I have a scar. And I mean, you can't see really the scar. You can just see it's smooth and light colored. When I was a child, I was at my next door neighbor's house. We call her Ma. And she had a treadle sewing machine. Well, I was playing on the treadle sewing machine, and I grabbed, what did I grab? I grabbed something with this hand, so it couldn't have been up here at the top, but I grabbed the treadle or something and pulled, and it sliced my hand open. So I've been playing with sewing machines for a really long time. And I think, you know, I say it was at our next door neighbors. I don't know. That's what I recall being told to me. I could have that story wrong. It could have been at my mama's house, one of my mamas, and it could have been at my aunt's. It could have been anywhere. Because they all have sewing machines. And I always wanted to sew. But my aunt, she taught all of us how to sew. Well, my aunt, my grandma. We all, by the time we were, I'm going to say 6 or 7, probably, maybe 8. 8 at the oldest. By the time we were, you know, about that age, we had made ourselves a pair of pajama shorts. We didn't do tops. We did bottoms. But I knew if I ever had anything, when I was in college, I was poor broke in college, y'all. I was completely poor broke. But if I had like a function or something to go to in college, because I was in several clubs and, you know, academic clubs. I would always go to my grandma's house and I'd tell her that I'd had a function or something. And I can remember she had a particular pattern, and it had a skirt pattern. It was a little in top. It was a little peplum top and just a straight skirt. And I would always make me one of those for whatever we were going to. Whatever I was going to. So, and I think I only made one skirt, but I made that peplum top several different times because I just wear the same skirt over and over. Because I worked and I went to college full time. I was a full-time student and I worked. Now, I mean, let's see, I even worked full-time when I was in college. So I was full-time student and full-time worker. But I was assistant manager at a motel. So that wasn't too bad. I could study while I was at work. Now I have to remember which way this one goes. Well, of course, it only goes one way. This is the end. So we get it down here. We're going to open it up. Y'all, how long has it taken? 38 minutes, and we are on our third row, putting them on here together. And since I have a lot of fabric and all here, I'm going on. This is why I'm not just putting it there and sewing it, tacking it down, and then coming to the end, because it is heavy now. And I do need to go on and pin both ends before I get started. What I'm doing is just letting it lay at my feet, let it just go straight down. And I can hold this here straight across. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited about this. I would love to get this done and get to take it to Miss Ava tomorrow. Oh, my goodness. That would be super special to get this done. And I'm going to take my little granddaughter and let her pick out some fabric for her, a summer dress. All it's going to be is like a pillowcase dress, which I guess all I need is like I have a pattern for that actually. Actually, it's just a measurement. It tells for, like, you know, what age and what size they are, how much you need. And so that's probably what I'm going to do. I've got to let this fall a little more. I can't let that hang too much down below me because it's just too heavy. Now, I do have a place here that, y'all know, I always say it'll all come out in the seam. Well, right here, this is one of my things. My fabric, I don't know what happened here, but it's about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the rest of it. So technically, I'm only getting like 1/8 of an inch of a seam, which doesn't hurt me at all. That's all I'm getting, because I can always, you know, make that work. And yeah, I'm going to give you a reminder. If you don't remember this, most people do that sew a lot, but I saw something on Facebook today. Oh my goodness. It was a picture of a sewing machine being serviced, and the amount of lint that was in the bobbin housing. I could not believe that. I was sitting here thinking, did that person never have to change their bobbin? They had to. They had to have seen that. It was horrible. It looked like a rat's nest of lint up in that sewing machine. I just could not believe that. So guys, don't forget to clean your machine out. You don't want you a mess in your machine, because it could burn it up. It could, well, it won't sew right once it gets a lot in there. my machine actually stops if I don't go through the settings on the screen to actually clean and oil it. It will stop and I have to go through those settings. Even though I clean and oil it all the time, I just don't go through the panel and do it. But it looks like I haven't done it if I don't do that. And I do. I mean, I keep my machine pretty clean. And if you're using 100% cotton thread, you have to do it multiple times on a project. Like every day you sew, you need to be cleaning it every day. Okay, friends, it is pulling here. I'm trying to keep from having to fight it, though. But we are just about done with this third row, which means the next row I will have to look at closely and make sure that I have it going in the correct direction, because it does not have a sashing on it at all. Okay, so now we have that third row on all the way. I am going to go ahead and flip this over. Now, this is the bottom right, so I have to be, this is going to be 10, 11, and 12 is going to be my little green block, this one here. So, this one here goes on this end. And what we'll do when we press this, we will press it towards the sashing. I believe that's what the instructions showed, was pressing it towards the sashing. So, friends, are y'all getting yours done? Are you getting your rows put together? To put these 4 rows together is probably going to take us about an hour, because I'm looking at it and it does look like we're at 48 minutes right now, which means I've got to get this going, because I'm probably going to have trouble uploading and all that already. So let me find the end that I am to start sewing right here. We're just going to throw this under this needle, because it looks like it's going to give me a little trouble trying to figure out what goes where. And all I'm going to do, it's like the sashing doesn't want to open up. But that will be okay. We will get this working perfectly fine here. Now I'm at where the sashing is pieced together. I make sure to hold that. I haven't told y'all that's what I'm doing, but I make sure to hold them open. So when I sew over them, they lay flat. Yeah, friends, this might have been easier to do the 2 together, and then the top 2 and then the bottom 2, and then put those 2 together. That might have been easier, because I have a lot of bulk hanging over here, and it's not going straight right here. I need that fabric to go straight out the back of my machine. Well, guys, we are on the final stretch here of getting the last row put on. Now, this right here is why I have to measure and press and fold and, fold and press on borders, because this right here, it kind of slips and it's not wanting to stay on that 1/4 of an inch. No matter how hard I'm trying, it's like the top fabric is walking and the bottom fabric is going the direction it don't need to go. And I have that dual control walking foot on there, or dual control foot, and it's supposed to stop that, but friends, I don't know. I guess when you got its weight on it, it just does what it does. Okay, friends, I have all the rows put together. All we have left to do is the border. I'm not going to bore y'all with that. So let's see what this quilt is looking like. I might have done it wrong. I might have done it backwards, friends. But that's okay. No, I did. I didn't. I just had it sideways. Okay, friends, let me see if I can show you what we got here. We've got our rose piece and our quilt done. As long as my stems are where they're supposed to be, I am perfectly happy with that. So, friends, I will try to get this hung up and take a better picture for y'all. But thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this quilt along. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not yet. And feel free to leave a comment. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, friends.